Hello students, welcome to my class on sex determination with usual amount of discussion on sex determination in humans, birds and honeybees. Many questions arise. What is sex? What is the definition of sex? What is the mechanism of sex determination? Just imagine, except some unicellular organisms, no individual is immortal. Everybody has to face the natural death. If the natural death is a certainty, then there must be some biological processes to counter it for continuity of the race, for preservation of the species. Yes, that is reproduction, the chief biological function of the sex, the process by which an animal produces its own kind for continuity of the race. Okay? So, the chief biological function of the sex is reproduction. So, how can you define the sex? Since the chief biological function of sex is reproduction, the reproductive function of an individual defines its sex. Okay? The sperm producing individuals are called males, the egg producing individuals are called females, the individuals which produce sperms and eggs are called hermaphrodites. And also you have observed many morphological differences between male and female sex of an organism. Numbers of anatomical, physiological, behavioral differences are also there. So, how do you integrate all these informations to define the sex? Logically speaking, the sex is an aggregation of morphological, anatomical, physiological and behavioral qualities by which a sperm producing individual or male differs from egg producing individual or the female, right. Let us talk about the sex determination system. What is sex determination system? Sex determination system is a biological system which determines sex of one individual. Okay. This sex determination mechanism is not universal. It means the same mechanism is not applicable for all species. In most of the organisms, the sex is determined by specific chromosomes called sex chromosomes. In some species, haplodiploidy mechanism is there. In case of honeybee, the males are haploid in nature and the females are diploid in nature. Okay? In some species, the environment determines the sex. You know, the sex of the baby crocodile depends upon the temperature at which egg is incubated. Okay? So, number of theories have been given to explain the mechanism of sex determination. Chromosomal theory of sex determination, genetic balance theory, hormonal control for sex determination and environmental factors for sex determination, etc. Right? In today's class, we shall discuss only the chromosomal basis of sex determination with haplodiploid mechanism, a unique variant of it. So, before going to discuss about the chromosomal mechanism of sex determination, we should know what are chromosomes. Okay? As the slide displayed on the screen, the chromosomes are thread-like structures found in the nucleus. Okay? These chromosomes are regarded as hereditary vehicles which contain genes, the hereditary units responsible for determination and inheritance of characters generation after generation, right. It means all the informations of a cell is stored in its chromosomes, and chromosomes are found in the nucleus. That is why the chromosomes are regarded as the hereditary vehicles, genes are called hereditary units and the nucleus is called control room, control chamber, controlling authority or boss of the cell, right. So, we can say chromosomes determine everything happening in your body, right. These chromosomes are of two types, sex chromosomes and autosomes. Okay. Now, we shall discuss about the autosomes. What are autosomes? Chromosomes are of two types, autosomes and sex chromosomes. These autosomes are non-sex chromosomes, they are non-sex chromosomes. They carry genes for somatic characters. You know, in case of human being, 23 pairs of chromosomes are there, out of which first 22 pairs are called autosomes. First 22 pairs. Okay. Then what is about the sex chromosomes? The sex chromosomes are responsible for determination of sex. These sex chromosomes are responsible for sexual determination of sexual characteristics and sex linked traits. These sex chromosomes are also called allosomes or idiosomes or heterosomes. These are of two types, one is the X chromosome, another is Y chromosome. Okay, are you getting it? This X chromosome was discovered by Henking in 1891 in male bug. He called this X chromosome as X body. What is about that Y chromosome? Y chromosome, you know, this is the smallest chromosome of our body with least number of genes, and that Y chromosome carries gene SRY, which encodes a protein called TDF, testis determining factor, which is responsible for determination of male sex or development of male sex. Okay. Y chromosome is the sex determining chromosome. Presence or absence of Y chromosome determines the sex. How many X chromosomes present, it does not matter. I love to know from you, tell me what is the sex of a person having genotype 44 plus XXY. How many X chromosomes are there? 2. How many Y chromosomes are there? Only 1, but the individual is a male. So, this Y chromosome is the sex determining chromosome. Presence or absence of that Y chromosome determines the sex. If the Y chromosome is present, then the individual is definitely a male. If the Y chromosome is absent, then that is female. Right? Any doubt? Okay. Now, tell me what will be the sex of the individual having genotype 44 plus X0. The individual is definitely female. You should not think that since the X chromosome is present, the individual is female. No, it is female because the Y chromosome is absent. Here the Y chromosome is present, that is why it is male. That is the Klinefelter syndrome, sterile male, Turner syndrome, sterile female. Right? Any doubt? Now, we shall discuss about the chromosomal basis of sex determination and a unique variant of it, that is haplodiploidy mechanism, under two headings. First, the heterogametic sex determination and unique mechanism, that is haplodiploidy. What is about heterogametic sex determination? Heterogametic. Hetero means what? Different. Heterogametic means either male or female produces two different types of gametes in relation to sex, right? XXXY mechanism in case of human being, XXX0 mechanism in case of grasshopper, squash bug, roundworm, etc. belong to that male heterogamity, right. So, male heterogamity means the male produces two dissimilar types of sperms in relation to sex, the female produces only one type of ova. Similarly, what is about the female heterogamity? Female heterogamity means the female is heterogametic, the female produces two dissimilar types of ova in relation to sex, male produces only one type of sperm in relation to sex. You know the ZWZZ mechanism in case of birds, the Z0 ZZ type of sex determination in butterflies belong to female heterogamity, right. Okay. Now, we shall discuss one by one. First, XXXY mechanism of sex determination, which is based on the sex chromosomes. You know, in XXXY mechanism of sex determination, the female carries two X chromosomes. So, female produces only one type of ova in relation to sex, each of which carries one X chromosome, but male carries one X chromosome and one Y chromosome. So, the male produces two dissimilar types of sperms, 50% sperms carry X chromosome and rest 50% sperms carry Y chromosome, right. So, if the egg is fertilized by the sperm with genotype carries X chromosome, then the individual will be or the offspring will be a female. If the fertilizing sperm carries Y chromosome, then the offspring will be a male. Okay. We shall discuss this better, taking the best example of it, that is you, human being, the ruler of the world, the highest evolved species. Okay. You just see the slide displayed on the screen, sex determination mechanism in case of human being. In case of human being, you know 23 pairs of chromosomes are there, 22 pairs are autosomes and 1 pair sex chromosome. In case of female, 2 X chromosomes are there, in case of male 1 X chromosome and 1 Y chromosome are there. So, the female is homogametic, produces only one type of ova in relation to sex, each carries genotype 22 plus X, but the male produces two dissimilar types of sperms, 50% sperms of genotype 22 plus X and rest 50% sperms of genotype 22 plus Y. If the fertilizing sperm is 22 plus X, then the offspring will be a daughter. If the fertilizing sperm is 22 plus Y, then the offspring will be a son. So, the sperms are the variable factors in sex determination in case of human being. But what happens in our society? The females are often blamed for giving birth to daughters. What a rubbish! Because it is the male sperm responsible for determination of sex. So, the female has no role, mother has no role in sex of the offspring. Okay? Are you getting it? Am I able to explain you clearly at this point of time? Okay, fine. Actually, this XXXY mechanism of sex determination was first studied by Wilson and Stevens in milkweed bug, that is Ligaeus tursicus. Hence, this type of sex determination is called Ligaeus type. Okay, let us do some exercises. Dear students, you see the questions displayed on the screen. Who described X chromosome of male bug and called it as X body? In 1891, Hanking discovered the X chromosome during spermatogenesis in male bug and called it as X body. Okay? Then the next question, the gene SRY, sex determining region of Y chromosome XRY, which codes for protein TDF, testis determining factor, is present in dash chromosome. Which chromosome? That is Y chromosome. The dash chromosome is the sex determining chromosome in mammals. Answer is Y chromosome, because you know presence or absence of Y chromosome determines the sex. If the Y chromosome is present, then the individual is a male. If the Y chromosome is absent, then the individual is a female. Okay? So, Y chromosome is the sex determining chromosome in mammals. Then the next question, XXXY mechanism was first studied by Wilson and Stevens in milkweed bug. Milkweed bug, its zoological name is Legaeus tursicus, hence the XXXY mechanism is also known as Legaeus type. Am I right? Tell me answers of some common questions. The son receives X chromosome from? The son receives X chromosome from mother, because it receives Y chromosome from the father. The daughter receives X chromosome from both the sexes, because you know in case of daughter 2 X chromosomes are present. It receives 1 X chromosome from father and another X chromosome from mother, right? Then the next question, which gamete of human determines the sex of the offspring? You know, it is the male gamete or the sperm which determines sex of the offspring. If the fertilizing sperm carries X chromosome, then the baby will be a girl. If the fertilizing sperm carries the Y chromosome, then the baby will be a son, right? Which type of sex determination is called Legaeus type? Yes, that XXXY mechanism was first studied in Legaeus tursicus, and that is called Legaeus type. Let us understand the next mechanism of male heterogamety, that is XXX0 mechanism, which is seen in case of grasshopper, squash bug, roundworms, etc. In this mechanism, the female carries 2 X chromosomes and male carries only 1 X chromosome. So, the female produces only one type of ova, each of which carries X chromosome, but male produces 2 dissimilar types of sperms. 50% sperms carry X chromosome and the rest 50% sperms do not have X chromosome, right? We can understand it taking the best example, that is in squash bug. The female has 22 chromosomes, the genotype is 20 plus XX. The male has 21 chromosomes, that is 20 plus X. So, the female produces only one type of ova, that is 10 plus X, but the male produces 2 dissimilar types of sperms. 50% sperms have genotype 10 plus X and the rest 50% sperms have genotype only 10, no X chromosome is there. If the fertilizing sperm is 10 plus X, then the genotype of the offspring will be 20 plus XX, that is female. And if the fertilizing sperm does not contain X chromosome, then the genotype of the offspring will be 20 plus X, that is male. Now, we shall discuss about the female heterogamety. You know, in case of female heterogamety, the female produces 2 dissimilar types of ova in relation to sex, but the male produces only one type of sperms in relation to sex. And you know, ZW, ZZ type of sex determination and Z0, ZZ type of sex determination are the examples of female heterogamety. First, we shall discuss the ZW, ZZ type of sex determination, which is seen in case of birds, the master of the air, right. So, in this ZW, ZZ type of sex determination, the Z and W chromosome are given to avoid confusion with XX, XY mechanism. Okay? The Z chromosome is larger in size and represents X chromosome of the XY mechanism, right. In case of female, one Z and one W chromosome are there, but in case of male, two Z chromosomes are there. Can you say what is the chromosome number of birds? No, because birds is not a species. How can you say it is a chromosome number? Birds means that is the class apes. You can say chromosome number of a species. So, for autosome sets, we can write AA means two sets of autosomes, and for sex chromosome in case of female, we can write ZW. So, the genotype of the female is AA plus ZW, and that of the male is AA plus ZZ. So, the female produces two dissimilar types of ova. 50% ova carry Z chromosome, that is A plus Z, and rest 50% ova carry W chromosome, that is A plus W. But the male produces only one type of sperms, that is A plus Z. If the ovum with genotype A plus Z is fertilized by the sperm, then the genotype of the offspring will be AA plus ZZ, that is a male. And if the ovum with genotype A plus W is fertilized by the sperm, then the genotype of the offspring will be AA plus ZW, that is a female. So, in case of male heterogamety, the male is responsible for male produces two dissimilar types of sperms in relation to sex. In case of female heterogamety, the female produces two dissimilar types of ova. So, in case of male heterogamety, it is the male gamete responsible for determination of sex of the offspring, but in case of female heterogamety, it is the female gamete or the ova responsible for determination of sex of the offspring. Dear students, we have discussed XXXY mechanism in human being and XXX0 mechanism in grasshopper, roundworm, squash bug, etc. under male heterogamety, and ZW, ZZ type of sex determination under female heterogamety. Okay, students, let us discuss another mechanism of female heterogamety, that is Z0, ZZ type of sex determination, which is seen in case of butterfly. In case of butterfly, you know, the female carries one Z chromosome, but the male has two Z chromosomes. So, the female produces two types of ova in relation to sex. 50% ova carry Z chromosome and rest 50% ova do not have Z chromosome. But the male produces only one type of sperms in relation to sex. Each sperm carries a Z chromosome, right. You see the picture displayed on the screen. The female is represented by genotype AA plus Z0. So, it produces two types of ova, A plus Z and A plus 0. But the male is represented by genotype AA plus ZZ. So, it produces only one type of sperms, that is A plus Z. If the ovum with genotype A plus Z is fertilized by the sperm, then the offspring will be AA plus ZZ, that is male. And if the egg with genotype A plus 0 or simply A is fertilized by the sperm, then the genotype of the offspring will be AA plus Z0, that is a female. Okay. Then we shall go to the next important method of sex determination, a unique variant of chromosomal mechanism, that is haplodiploid mechanism or male haploid mechanism in case of honeybee. But before going to that chapter, let us do some exercises. How many X chromosomes are present in male roundworm? Answer is 1, because you know in case of roundworm, grasshopper, squash bug, the XXX0 mechanism is there. So, the female carries 2 X chromosomes and male has only 1 X chromosome, right. Then the next question, which sex is heterogametic in XXX0 mechanism? Definitely the male, because the female has genotype XX, so produces only one type of gamete in relation to sex, which carries X chromosome, but male is heterogametic, produces two dissimilar types of sperms in relation to sex. 50% sperms carry X chromosome and the rest 50% sperms do not have X chromosome. What type of sex determination is seen in case of squash bug? You know, obviously XXX0 type, because in case of grasshopper, in case of squash bug, in case of roundworm, the XXX0 mechanism of sex determination is applicable. Okay, fine. Which sex is heterogametic in ZWZZ type of sex determination? You know, the ZWZZ type of sex determination is seen in case of birds. In case of birds, the female produces two dissimilar types of ova in relation to sex. 50% ova carry Z chromosome and the rest 50% ova carry W chromosome. But male is homogametic, produces only one type of sperms in relation to sex, each of which carries one Z chromosome. So, in ZWZZ type of sex determination, the female is heterogametic, right. Then the next question, which chromosome of bird represents X chromosome in the human? You know, the Z chromosome of ZWZZ mechanism in birds represent X chromosome in XXXY mechanism of the human being. Okay. Then the next question, which sex is heterogametic in Z0ZZ type of sex determination? Z0ZZ type of sex determination is seen in butterflies, and you know, in case of butterflies, the female produces two different types of ova in relation to sex. 50% ova carry Z chromosome and rest 50% ova do not have Z chromosome. Okay. Which gamete determines sex of the offspring in butterflies? In case of butterflies, the female has genotype Z0, so it produces two dissimilar types of ova or female gamete. 50% ova carry Z chromosome and rest 50% ova do not have Z chromosome, but the male produces only one type of sperms, each of which carries one Z chromosome. So, it is the female gamete or the ovum is responsible for determination of sex of the offspring, because the female gamete is the variable factor in case of Z0ZZ type of sex determination seen in butterflies, right. Then the next question, how many Z chromosomes are present in male butterfly? In case of butterfly, Z0ZZ type of sex determination is there. It means the female is represented by Z0, male is represented by ZZ. So, definitely the male has two Z chromosomes. Okay. Then we shall discuss the unique variant of chromosomal mechanism, that is haplodiploidy mechanism or male haploidy or N-to-N type of sex determination, which is seen in case of honeybee. You know, honeybee is a social insect. It is a very small creature with a big life. In honeybee, three different castes are seen: queen, drone and worker. You know, in a hive only one queen is present. In honeybee, the queen is only female, which is functional sexually, right. That means the queens can produce ova. The queen can produce ova, right. The queen is queen in the real sense. No duty is allotted to queen. Since she is the queen, she commands other members what to do. Queen is the mother of all bees. Okay. and that queen is diploid in nature. So, the queen is called diploid functional female. Then the next cards, that is drone. Drone is haploid in nature. Drone is the functional male. The drone produces the sperm. The drone waits for a chance to mate with the queen. This seems to be the only function of the drone, because in case of honeybee, after mating the drone dies. Drones do not collect nectar or pollen, do not do any other function, simply they wait for a chance to mate with the queen, and these drones are haploid in nature. Then what is about the workers? In case of honeybee, the workers are also females. Queens are females, workers are females. Queens are diploid functional females, but the workers are sterile females. The workers do not produce ova, they are sterile in nature. Okay, students, let us discuss how the sex of the honeybee is determined. What is the mechanism of sex determination in case of honeybee? In honeybee, the queen is diploid in nature. How many chromosomes are present in the diploid queen? That is 32. Okay. It is diploid in nature. It produces ova by meiosis. So, ova are haploid in nature. Okay. This process is called meiosis. The drone or the male is haploid in nature, means n number of chromosomes are present. So, the male produces sperms by mitosis. Male produces sperms by mitosis. After mating, the queen lays both fertilized and unfertilized eggs. These fertilized eggs are diploid in nature. The unfertilized eggs are haploid. These fertilized eggs are developed into females, and the unfertilized eggs are developed into males or the drone. This process is called parthenogenesis. Right? So, what is parthenogenesis? The process by which unfertilized eggs are developed into complete embryo is known as parthenogenesis. So, in case of honeybee, the unfertilized eggs are directly developed into male embryos by the process called parthenogenesis, but the females are developed by the process called fertilization. So, the females have diploid number of chromosome, 2n number of chromosomes. Out of these females, the functional female is called queen, and the sterile female is called worker. So, now the question comes, which factor actually makes a female queen? What happens actually? All larvae are fed with royal jelly for first 3 days, right? But after that, the drones and workers are fed with pollen and nectar, but that royal jelly treatment continues for the queen. So, the female larvae takes royal jelly beyond 3rd day is destined to be a queen, that is the functional female. Okay? So, you may say the royal jelly decides the sex. No, the royal jelly makes the individual fertile or sterile, but the sex, male or female, it is decided by sets of chromosome. If it is haploid, then it is male; if it is diploid, then that is female. Okay? So, this mechanism is called haplodiploid mechanism, or end-to-end type of sex determination, or male haploid mechanism. Another interesting thing, you just observe what happens in this case. The males, you see, the males do not have father, because these males are developed from unfertilized eggs. Unfertilized eggs are developed into male embryo by the process called parthenogenesis. Males do not have fathers and thus cannot have sons, but these males have grandfather and thus can have grandsons. How? You see, the queen which lays ova, these males are developed from the unfertilized eggs of the queen. So, queen is the mother of this drone. The father of the queen, the father of this queen, this is the father. Father of the queen is the grandfather of this male. So, these males do not have father, they are developed from unfertilized egg of the queen, but these males have grandfather and thus can have grandsons. Now, we shall discuss some questions on honeybees or haplodiploid mechanism. Now, tell me, what is the ploidy of the queen bee? Queen is haploid or diploid? No doubt diploid, because you know workers and queens are diploid. Queen is diploid functional female, the worker is diploid sterile female. Okay? Then what is the ploidy of a drone? Drone, that is the functional male. What is that? What is the ploidy? You know, the males are haploid in nature in case of honeybee, because they are developed from unfertilized eggs by the process called parthenogenesis. Right? Now, question comes, the drones produce sperms by which process? Mitosis or meiosis or amitosis? Drones are haploid in nature, hence they produce sperms by mitosis, but the queen is diploid in nature. So, the queen produces ova by meiosis, right? Then the next question, the process by which the unfertilized eggs are developed into drones is called as? You know, the process by which unfertilized egg is developed into an embryo is called parthenogenesis. Hence, in case of honeybee, the males are developed from unfertilized eggs by the process called parthenogenesis, right? Then the next question, a female larva fed royal jelly beyond its 3rd day. If the royal jelly treatment continues beyond 3rd day, then that female larva is destined to be a queen. Okay? Then the next question, which caste in a bee colony is a sterile female? You know, the workers are sterile females. Workers don't participate in the process of reproduction. Workers are workers. They do everything occurs in the hive. They collect pollen and nectars. They keep the hive clean. They do different types of jobs in the hive, but they don't have power of reproduction as they are sterile in nature. Okay? Then which type of sex determination is seen in honeybee? In case of honeybee, you know the haplodiploid mechanism is there, or you can say male haploid mechanism, or it is also called end-to-end type of sex determination. Now we shall discuss some differences between autosomes and allosomes, X chromosome and Y chromosome, male heterogamety and female heterogamety, and sex determination in birds and honeybees. First we shall discuss the differences between autosomes and allosomes. What are allosomes? Allosomes are the sex chromosomes. How do they differ from autosomes? To know it, let us have a look on the slide displayed on the screen. Autosomes carry genes for somatic characters, but allosomes or the sex chromosomes carry genes for sex determination and sex linked traits. Most of the chromosomes of our genome are autosomes, but few chromosomes of the genome are allosomes or sex chromosomes. What is about constancy of their number? Number of autosomes may vary in different species. It is not constant in all species, but the sex chromosomes are usually one pair. Okay? In most of the species, you will find only one pair of sex chromosomes. Autosomes don't differ with the sex of the individual, but the allosomes, they usually differ with the sex of the individual, because you know in case of human being, the male sex is represented by XY and the female sex is represented by XX, right? What is about the example? In case of human being, 23 pairs of chromosomes are there, out of which first 22 pairs, that is from first pair to 22nd pair, are called autosomes. And what is about the sex chromosomes? Only the last pair, that is the 23rd pair chromosomes, are called sex chromosomes or the allosomes, right? Now we shall differentiate between X chromosome and Y chromosome. X chromosome and Y chromosome both are sex chromosomes, but how do they differ? Let us have a look on the slide. X chromosome is present in both the sexes. It is found in both male and female, but Y chromosome is restricted to male sex only. The X chromosome is comparatively larger in size with more number of genes, but you know Y chromosome is the smallest chromosome of your body with least number of genes. The X chromosome is not the sex determining chromosome in case of human being, but you know the Y chromosome carries gene SRY, which encodes a protein TDF, testis determining factor, that triggers development of male sex. So presence or absence of Y chromosome determines sex of the individual. So Y chromosome is the sex determining chromosome in mammals, right? Any doubt? Now you know most of the sex linked traits are X linked. Why? Because besides sex related traits, the X chromosome also carries genes for other body characters. You know, mutation of these genes cause various genetic disorders like hemophilia, color blindness, etc. But few sex linked traits are Y linked, like hypertrichosis. X linked traits are inherited to both the sexes, because you know both male and female offspring receive X chromosome from parents, but the Y chromosome is inherited from male to male sex only. Hence, the Y linked traits are inherited from father to son to grandson, and Y linked genes are called Hollandric genes. The X chromosome is associated with bare body formation, because you know in case of human female, out of 2 X chromosomes, one gets inactivated and becomes the bare body. But Y chromosome is not associated with bar body formation. Okay. Now we shall discuss the differences between male heterogamety and female heterogamety. Male heterogametic means the male produces two dissimilar types of sperms in relation to sex. Female heterogamety means the female produces two dissimilar types of ova in relation to sex. In case of male heterogamety, the ova are of one type in relation to sex, but in case of female heterogamety, the sperms are of one type in relation to sex. In case of male heterogamety, sperms are the sex determining factors, but in female heterogamety, ova are the sex determining factors. In case of male heterogamety, you know examples are XXXY type and XXX0 type, but in female heterogamety, the examples are ZWZZ type and Z0ZZ type. Okay? Now you know the best example of male heterogamety is human being, XXXY mechanism, but in case of female heterogamety, the good example is birds, that is ZWZZ mechanism. Now we shall differentiate sex determination in birds and sex determination in honeybee. In case of birds, the mechanism is ZWZZ type. In case of honeybee, the mechanism is haplodiploidy or male haploidy or N2N type. In birds, both males and females are diploid, but in case of honeybee, females are diploid while males are haploid. In case of birds, all offsprings are produced by fertilization, but in case of honeybee, the males are produced from unfertilized eggs by the process called parthenogenesis. In case of birds, all the females produced are fertile in nature, but in case of honeybee, queen and worker both are females. Queen is fertile, but workers are sterile. For quick recap, I would like to remember you all the different types of sex determination I have discussed today. That is, first the male heterogamety, under which XXXY mechanism and XXX0 mechanism are there. You know, the XXXY mechanism is seen in case of human beings. In a human being, the female has two X chromosomes, XX, and male has only one X chromosome and one Y chromosome, that is XY. So you know, there is a consistent cytological difference between male and female somatic cells, that is the presence of bar body. Do you know what is bar body? Yes, the bar body was discovered by Emil Barr in the nerve cell of cat. Number of bar body always one less than the number of X chromosome. How many X chromosomes are present in human female? 2. Out of these 2 X chromosomes, one gets inactivated and becomes the bar body. So you will find the bar body in the somatic cell of the female, and that cell should be diploid in nature. Sometimes question comes, can you find bar body in the female ovum? No, because the genotype of the female ovum is 22 plus X. How many X chromosomes are there? Only 1. So there is no bar body, because the number of bar body always 1 less than the number of X chromosome. How many bar bodies are found in human male? No, because the male has only one X chromosome, another Y chromosome is there. So male has no bar body. But I will give you one example, a female without bar body and male with bar body. A female without bar body, female means no Y chromosome is there, only X chromosome. (44 plus XX normal female, but female without bar body. So you have to remove one X chromosome, that is 44 plus X0, Turner syndrome, female without bar body. Similarly, male with a bar body, male 44 plus XY, one X chromosome is there. But for barbody another X chromosome is required. So, 44 plus XXY, that is Klinefelter syndrome, male with a barbody. Okay. Then the next mechanism you know, XXX0 mechanism, which is seen in case of squash bug. So, under male heterogamety we have discussed XXXY mechanism in human being, XXX0 mechanism in squash bug, grasshopper, roundworm, etc. And in female heterogamety we have discussed ZW, ZZ type of sex determination in case of birds and Z0, ZZ type of sex determination in butterflies. Okay? And last we have discussed the unique method, that is the haplodiploid mechanism, which is seen in case of honeybees. The males are haploid in nature and the females are diploid in nature. The males are developed from unfertilized egg by parthenogenesis and the females are developed from fertilized eggs, right. Okay, thank you.